got dodgy
It's
commitment.
not about slides, anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's not about slides.
It's all about slides. Are the slides a compulsory part? I really want to hear.
My slides is me going.
Pictures. This is a picture of a sheep when we talk about acoustics.
Ready?
Picture of a lamb. Picture of a horse.
Okay, today.
Picture of a flower.
Wait, ready? Okay. Okay, today I'm going to talk to you about a favourite effect of mine. Delay! Essentially what delay is, it's an audio effect and it occurs naturally, but we also create it artificially. And essentially what it is, it's when a sound source is recorded onto a media, i.e. a tape or a hard disk or something like that, and then replayed after a set amount of time. Let's see, it has many practical and artistic applications in music. I'm going to be looking more at the practical ones because the artistic ones you can figure out as you go along. The way delay works is that it's by replaying a pre-recorded sound. The simplest way to understand it is with a tape delay. So the tape goes round here, you play your guitar or sing a note or whatever, it gets recorded, and then further down here it gets played again. So that creates the effect. And the way that you would change the delay time is to move this playhead backwards and forwards. And they did experiment with using magnetic discs for a short while, but they were almost obsolete as soon as they came out, because they came out almost the week that computers did. So really it was really tape delay and then digital delay. The sources of natural delay are reverberation and echo. So just think valleys and churches, things like that, they're all delay-based effects. Let's see. And delay is essential to the way that our brains locate sound in the horizontal plane. Basically, we can sense which side of our head a sound is coming from by the delay between the left and the right side of our head. With higher sounds, it tends to be just on the intensity, because higher sounds are more directional, so it's more obvious where they're coming from. So I'll tend to say if it's quieter on the left side, it's coming from the right. But with bass sounds or lower end sounds, it tends to do it the other way, with phase difference. And this tests have shown that the human brain can actually localise 10 times more accurately horizontally than we can vertically. And that's because our ears are on the two sides of our head. And this is called the Haas effect. With the Haas effect, it's actually possible to synchronise banks of speakers, as at Glastonbury, which is obviously the most famous example. If you imagine that sound travels 344 metres per second in air, then every 344 metres back that you want to put this second bank of speakers, you need to add another second of delay to make it all sound as though it's coming from the same place. If you understand that. And because of the Haas effect, there's actually a psychological point at which, if you increase the delay time above that, it stops sounding like one coherent sound and starts to sound like two separate sound sources. So, for example, if you have a short delay, you'll end up with a doubling echo, which just sounds like the same instrument playing, but slightly widened. If you imagine, say, if you had a trumpet sound and you expanded it slightly using delay, that's the kind of sound you'd have. And if you go further than that, then it starts to actually separate out and your brain processes it as two separate things. But just going to show you a little example. This young man in America, he's blind, but he doesn't actually use a cane or anything. He's taught himself to echolocate in the manner popularised by bats. He's actually so good at it that he's able to roller skate unaided through the street. So you make clicking sounds.
This was just the beginning. When he was 7, Ben discovered a